Good morning. So it's early Monday morning, September 28th, 2020. So over the weekend, I was doing a bit of homework, some things based on my own personal decisions, factors I have to take into consideration. And so I've been putting together a timeline, I would say since Friday, based on some world events that I believe would impact me, whether I live in the United States or abroad. So I just wanted to share a bit of that and what I believe this might actually imply. Overall, I believe it lends itself to leading towards a global conflict, possibly a world war, possibly a Cold War. Given the amount of nations that are involved in this and showing certain allegiance to one group or another, um, I believe this could be very problematic and change the shape of our global economy and how we all do business on a regular basis and the quality of our lives. Now, does that mean I'm comfortable speculating on who's going to be on whose side, what exactly the political motives are going to be? That I'm not going to speculate on. If the way I look at it is, if a nation itself is not sure of its position in the global economy, I don't see what leadway I have to assume what their position will be in a global economy. So I'm going to hold back from that. So, anyways, I'll read this off. January 20, 2020, SARS-CoV-2 appears in China and begins to spread globally. March 13th, 2020, Janez Janša is elected as Slovenian Prime Minister following Marjan Sadic's January 2020 resignation. Janez Janša is a former League of Communists member who is coming off of serving a prison sentence for kickbacks associated with a Finnish military contract. His education and experience is in national defense. March 13th, 2020, Trump asks Department of Energy to stock up on oil for strategic petroleum reserves. March 18th, 2020, Trump enacts Defense Production Act of 1950 for the PPE shortage in America. June 16th, 2020, 20 Indian soldiers killed in border clash with China. Mostly hand-to-hand combat, throwing of rocks and other forms of hand tools. June 26, 2020, GVS Filtering Industries, a UK company, moves manufacturing to Findlay, Ohio to produce millions of N99 respirators in response to the Covid-19 epidemic. July 29, 2020, Fiocchi, an Italian ammunition company, plans to build a $15 million plant in Arkansas, USA. Also slightly before and even after the Fiocchi announcement, Russian ammunition continued to be sold to the U.S. civilian market. If you're familiar with Tull ammo and a few other varieties, they are clearly made in Russia, namely by some of them made by Wolf Ammunition, and they are readily available on the U.S. market. So Russia is supplying the U.S. with ammunition for rifles and other handgun calibers, such as 9mm, but you can clearly see a lot of 7.62 by 39 and a lot of 9mm are on the market. August 1st, 2020, Trump talks about banning TikTok in the U.S. over CCP security concerns. August 10th, 2020, Mike Pompeo cleared of wrongdoing over $8 billion arms sale to Saudi Arabia. August 15th, 2020, Mike Pompeo, former CIA director for the United States, now Secretary of State, visited Slovenia to sign a 5G security treaty. September 4th, 2020, Trump has Serbian and Kosovo leaders in the White House to sign an economic deal. Serbia was claiming that they felt alienated a bit from the European Union, and that despite their fairly well-performing economy, I think they said they claimed they had 0% gross domestic product loss in 2020. I think that's what they said. So they felt that there was no reason for them to be alienated economically. I guess they feel they have something to bring into the situation that can add to stability in the Balkan area, formerly Yugoslavia, as well as the European Union. September 8th, 2020, at BSF 2020, Hungary's Prime Minister claims that Europe is no longer a game changer in the world economy due to lack of military influence. That the game changers are, in fact, the United States and China. He also went on to claim that when you have a lower military budget, basically you have lesser research and development and lesser engineering. That's going to carry over into commercial and consumer products. So the economic trickle down or expansion effect is not there for them as much as it is in China and the United States. I think that was a point he tried to make. September 22nd, 2020, Trump calls on the world to hold China accountable at UN address. Refers to the virus as the China virus, as he has in the past, but this time he made another special emphasis on that matter. September 22nd, 2020, China's president responded to Trump, saying that he is like a knight who attacks imaginary enemies in the face of economic globalization, and that the world will never be isolated economically again. He went on to sort of claim that nobody can sever the ties between nations, as if it were an impossibility. So all in all, I've put together this timeline as a tool for me to make some of my life decisions, considering that I've thought about moving overseas, and the last thing I want to do is move into an area that has become highly unstable. So overall, this 7-month timeline has basically shown that at the international level, there's been a cooperative effort to ensure the integrity of national security against some outside threats. Now, I think the predominant theme is that it's going to be against China. When you look at the 5G security networks and the potential TikTok ban, all of that goes straight back to China and the CCP. I think it has very little to do with civil war in America. I think it has very little to do with Antifa or Black Lives Matter or anything. Saudi Arabia and Slovenia have next to nothing to do with those organizations. Neither does Serbia. And like I said, I think it has more to do with nationalism versus globalism, and specifically China on a world scale. I don't know what kind of war we could be in for. We could be in for something like not a civil war, but something like a Cold War. It could escalate to something like World War II. Anything is possible, but I think it's too early to tell what kind of severity we are in for as per any international conflict. But I think it's something to keep in mind. I think it's something to definitely keep in the back of your mind if you plan on making international investments or other decisions that could impact you financially and socially or politically in the future. So that's all. If you have any comments, leave them down below. I'll probably elaborate on this as it unfolds, I guess. So have a good day.